Hello, 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 and welcome to Entitled, where we talk to the entrepreneurs, thought leaders, influencers, and top practitioners of the real estate industry. I'm Bernie Espinosa, along with my co-host,
David Bellinger. Hey, everyone.
Where's your Red Bull today?
I'm still working on coffee this morning, which is
Dang.
okay.
Dang.
It's okay. It's been a few days without a Red Bull, and I'm
actually
surviving.
I'm really proud of you.
I'm not proud about it, but it's been a few days,
Yeah.
so I'll take it.
Yeah. So David's my partner in crime. We also work for Lawyers Title and F&F Company. Therein lies our fun name for our podcast, Entitled.
Yep.
And today we have probably just a dear friend to both of us, somebody that's very looked up to in the industry. And I'm excited to unpack the journey of who is Kimberly Ryan. So,
dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun,
Yeah,
dun, dun. So just in brief, today, Kimberly is the Arizona growth leader for Real Broker. Correct me if I'm incorrect, but the first agent in Arizona under Real, and also now the growth leader for several other states for Real Broker. And I think if we can fast forward today, you're really launching and leading a new crusade on speaking and coaching and diving into potential.
Well, you said it all. I mean, that was awesome.
Okay,
yeah,
good. We're done.
Incorrect. Nothing incorrect.
Now we're out. I'm not a growth leader. I will correct one thing. I'm not a growth leader in several of those states anymore.
Okay,
I helped
good.
start and launch a few of them. I did a few by myself, and then I partnered with some other people to help them. So
that's
just
good.
for clarification's sake,
Got it.
still in that position for Real. Had the privilege of opening the state for the company, which has been awesome. So, yep, I happen to be agent number one. I never really thought of it like that until somebody said that, and I was like, oh.
I say it all the time to people.
I know you're that's so good to me. Yeah. So no, I had that chance to do that, and it's going great. I mean, the company's growing, the agents are great, the production's great. I can't complain. It's a good company.
That's awesome. Well, what I think we're most excited about today is let's unpack because,
Okay.
you know, one of the things that David and I talk about all the time is how well known you are just from a visibility standpoint, your influence, people love you, you're a great coach. But let's really unpack because I don't think that a lot of people truly know the influence and bearing that you've had on the success of other people's businesses. It's pretty phenomenal how much you've blueprinted for other companies.
It is. It's super fun. I mean, it's
You're uncomfortable
weird.
with this.
Humbling,
I'm
right?
just. I
Humbling.
want to crawl inside.
How am I supposed to brag about myself?
Well, yes, kind of. That feels super awkward. But I think the other thing for me is I love that under
I
the
know you
radar
do.
vibe. And so to talk about this, I go, oh, all the bones
But
in my neck are funny.
That's what I think is cool about getting you on our podcast is to talk about this because that piece behind the scenes and that ability to bear influence, have your practical and tactical, your advisory, your ability to connect with individuals as much as not necessarily being the face on the marquee outside the building, right?
Right.
So I mean that's something to be that's very accomplished and something to
Thank
be
you.
really proud of. You're a great business person.
Thank you.
And I think it'd be really fun for a lot of people to get to know that side of you too, because you started somewhere before real estate.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, gosh, it's crazy to think about.
Let's talk about the origin story.
The origins. Yeesh.
We don't need to list dates.
Yeah,
it's okay.
It's not that far. Actually, it's funny because if I go back to like childhood and think about that, we'll go all the way back to the big origins, right? Like my dad was really big on, listen, if you can understand people, then whatever career you choose or don't choose, you're going to kill it, right? If you really understand how the inner workings of people and relationships and communication go, you can be successful in whatever you want to do. So in the 5th grade, I took my first DISC test. And so I've been taking the DISC, no kidding. My dad was like...
in 5th grade?
In 5th grade.
Wow.
So it's like stamped into me, right? But what it did was allow me to see me for who I really am, and then to see you for who you are, and then to realize, oh, we aren't the same, but we need to do some of the same things. We need to work together. We need to, we all have a value. And so I think that was, if I look back at anything that I'm like super grateful for when people go, who is your mentor? I've had a lot of really good people in my life, but that imprint at age 10 or 11 was really powerful for me. And I think it honestly set the trajectory for my interest in helping other people succeed because it was more like a puzzle for me. It was like, oh, you're really different from me. I want to figure out how to work with you. And if I can see things in a different light than you can, which I know I can, and you see them different than I do, then maybe together we can do something different and that nobody else would expect. And so that's always been my like secret sleuthing around with people. I also realized probably about 20 years ago, maybe a little bit longer ago than that I don't have a normal brain. And I think when I figured that out, I was like, oh, that's super weirdo. I thought I was just super normal and that everybody thought like I thought and can plan like I plan. But what I've discovered is I have one of those brains that can see the 5,000 feet up, down. I can see the big, big picture. And then I have the other part of my brain that can see the ground level and know how to build to get to that 5,000 foot. And I just thought everybody could do that. And so when I realized that was unique, I was like, oh, I can use that weirdo skill to help other people accomplish things that they want to. That is my accomplishment. So my satisfaction comes in seeing your success because I got to mastermind and play with it and strategize to help you get to where you want to go. And that's really what led me into coaching and building products for companies and systems and processes and platforms and whatever else I've done for some pretty global companies.
Yeah.
I mean, not just in the real estate space either. Like,
No, I remember you used to, was it Kinko's?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When Kinko's was a limited partnership still before they went public and were partnered with FedEx. There's a lot of stuff that is in FedEx stores around the world right now that came out of my little store in Northern California for building stuff. I know. So
This is what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
I
it's
want to
wild.
unpack these cool
Yeah.
things because the impact that you've had with your creativity and, strategy and, and that duality of the 5,000 foot and then the gritty level that you can get to, you complement the skill set of whoever you're with by being able to toggle between the two.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and that's what I literally attribute that back to my dad teaching me about people, right? And making that a focal point in my childhood because if I can sit in the room with people who are billionaires and I can sit with people who are homeless. And neither of those determines the value of your humanity to me. That was a given in our household. My parents, there were nothing. I mean, I always say I was raised by Ward and June Cleaver, And
Your mom vacuumed with pearls.
She did quite literally, right? Polyester, don't forget that. But pearls, yeah. But it was that, right? I mean, I never knew when we would go to bed at night and get up in the morning, the door at the end of the hallway would either be opened or closed. And if it was open, nobody was there. If it was closed, it means my mom and dad brought somebody in the house overnight because they needed help. So we just had this, we just serve people. This is what we do. We love people. We take care of people. So that translated for me when I kind of figured out what my brain was like to go, oh, I can take that philosophy of people aren't disposable and that we should care about people and we should contribute and give and take care and pair that with a strategic mind that goes, gosh, you really want to do that? Okay.
Yeah.
Let's dig in deep and let's go.
Yeah.
Right. So I've had that kind of experience has just kind of played through my whole career, regardless of industry. That's always been something that's just super fun.
That's
so
cool.
yeah, I feel like I've had a very privileged life in terms of my exposure to being able to tap into a weirdo skill.
Well, and also I think your acceptance of humans, right? Like, I mean, that sounds silly, not acceptance of humans, but just kind of fearless about it. You're just everybody's okay, no matter what.
Well, there's some weirdos out there that are weirder than I am, which,
but but no fear
which
factor.
is nice. So no fear factor, yeah.
Yeah. So
Right.
a couple things. You took the disc in 5th grade. What was your disc?
Oh, I was in the 5th grade. I was all I.
All I. Okay,
And-
shocker.
I mean, you're
yeah.
concerned about the answer. I'm more blown away you took it in the 5th grade.
I know.
So.
I'm just.
Well,
I'm like,
literally, I've taken it almost every year.
yeah.
Since then, and I've watched I wish that I would have kept them because a lot of them were on
You-
paper
they-
back
they
then.
change,
weren't.
yeah.
Yeah.
But oh my gosh, when I was a designated broker, I was equal parts D&I and equal parts S&C. And all 4 of them are above the energy line. Energy line is 50, if you know anything about this.
Yeah.
We could teach a whole course on the disc,
Right.
believe me.
Right.
So it's interesting. Like, that's kind of psychopathic. You shouldn't be like that. But because I was a broker and responsible, I took that responsibility pretty heavily, right? Like, gosh, I need to make sure that when I'm checking all your contracts, we're in line. So that S&C has to come up. I'm still a driver. My I went down. My D and I went down from 99 to 83. That's a pretty significant drop. My S&C went from like 52 to 67. So my S&C and my D and I have always been
Yeah.
married, except when I was a kid. And I was all I. So free, so happy. Get my
Your parents
my
were the drivers.
literal, my dad was. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, wild.
Yeah.
And
so
then
he
that
complimented,
med-
like you
Yep.
just got to be your eye, and
And he
would
was
tell
my
you,
person.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah.
He'd be like, he was trying to like pull in the reins a little bit.
Well, and the way you were raised, I mean, of course it changed, right?
Oh, absolutely.
What did your
I mean,
parents do?
I would love to see what everybody changes to, right? Especially as you learn.
I mean,
You meet new people.
Yep.
You're,
Yeah.
Well, you have
especially in
different
your role.
different roles.
experiences.
Yeah.
You're in different roles,
Yeah.
right?
You
Like,
get hurt. You go through loss. You go through pain. You go through joy. You have
Yeah.
these highs and lows
Yep.
as a human in your human experience, and depending on how you're equipped to handle those, things are going to change.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you're going to be. There's some things in my life where I got hurt really, really badly, and totally out of the water, blew me out of the water, and knocked me out for a while, and that actually changed me.
That's right.
It completely changed me. It made me go, oops, we're going to put a shell. I'm not going to give so much. And I had to train myself to hold back. And I had to train myself to put limits where my natural self says, oh my gosh, we're free and easy. The world is creative. We can do anything, to like, ooh, I don't trust you.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. So you can,
Right.
I mean, it goes both ways.
Yeah.
You work through that and you go, okay, well, I'm back to who I am. I know who I am. I know my identity, I
Yeah.
guess. And
I
that
feel
doesn't
like
really change.
if you take any of those, indicators, like if you're consistent with taking a disc at any interval, it should change. Because
Right,
I
because
hope that
your
I'm
life
not the same
changes.
person.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like
That's
I hope
exactly
I continue
right.
to evolve and grow.
Your
hopefully
core
not
is gonna
recede,
stay the same.
But some of those characteristics
Yeah.
are going to bubble to the surface more or less based on experiences.
Well, and to your point about the characteristics, right? Like the core of who you are isn't going to change.
Right.
For instance, I had a little kid in my car 20 years ago. And he was terrified to go over 25 miles an hour. I just spent a few coaching sessions with him now as an adult. And you know what? Still terrified to go over 25. Like some of those things are just intrinsically,
Yeah.
this is who I am. But the character traits and the skills that we have to hone can change that.
Yeah.
So my disc as a broker, that S&C was pretty high because that I needed that. I
Yeah.
needed to focus on those skills. I didn't enjoy that part. I loved the teaching and leading part of being a broker, but I didn't love the I have to
Yeah.
check every I don't want to be the police. Like grow up
The
and do your own
admin.
stuff.
Yeah.
Like I'm
Yeah.
not good at
The
that. I don't like it.
overseer.
Yep, I don't
Yeah.
like that at all.
So what did your parents do?
Oh well, yeah, it's awesome.
And then
My-
were they the ones that told you about the disc in 5th grade, or did you discover that on
Oh
your
no,
own?
my dad brought it. It was a family. We had family fun night. This was family fun night. Nuh-uh. Yeah,
You've never told me
it was.
this
It
before.
wasn't a family fun night all the time like that. Like usually it was games, right?
Yeah.
Or we would go do something and be together as a family. But one night we did the disc. And I remember I was in the 5th grade and we sat at the table and it's like an SAT test, right? Because
Yeah.
that's where you had a number 2 pencil and you're
Yeah.
filling
Filling
in
in
the
all
little
the
circles
holes.
and you're like,
Yeah.
"Eesh, this is no fun at all." But I was fascinated by it, right? And so the one family fun night on Friday was doing the disc. The next one was the reveal, right? So you're like, oh, this is who you are. And so it became, it was awesome because we're 4 very different people. My sister and I are 4.5 years apart. To give you a very clear adult picture of what our childhood was like, my sister has her doctorate in HR stuff. I am like the one who goes, we have HR? Oh my gosh, right? It's not going to go well, right? So we're totally different people. My dad had a great sense of humor, very dry. So his eye was moderately high. His delivery was off the charts, right? It was awesome like that. My dad was a pastor, so we were raised, in an environment of giving and caring for other people. And
Therein lies why sometimes if the door was closed, we found somebody to help.
right,
And
there was somebody like, oh, somebody rolled in
Yeah.
after we went to bed last
Yeah.
night, and we had so many crazy. There's so many stories that's a whole nother
Yeah.
series. It's not even a podcast; it's
Yeah.
a series. But the interesting things, and I think honestly, if I go back to those kind of roots, I was exposed to so much stuff, so much adult stuff as a kid. I didn't have to experience that to see the heartache and making bad choices. And so I think that also shaped and formed me to like go, yeah, I don't need to do all of that to know that that's what it looks like.
Ooh.
And so I don't have to, I'm not an experiential learner. that's at 5,000 feet up. I can look down and go, oh yeah, that choice led to all of these things. I'm not doing that. So I think I curbed a lot of my, what would have probably been my like out of control wild self. I don't have that.
Oh, okay.
I know. I have limits to that now.
I guess that's another episode too.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, okay. Yeah, but I mean, there were a lot of decisions that I could have made other ways that I had good critical thinking skills early on to go, yeah, that's not a good idea. And
That's
it's
why
because
you always tell people, make good choices.
That's it. Love you, see ya, make good choices.
You say that all the time.
All the time.
That's your closing line.
Because if, and that's what I used to tell my kids, if you have exhausted all of the questions around should I or shouldn't I do this, just ask one more. Keep going. Keep going until you get to the one that says, would mom let me do this? And when you know the honest answer, then make the decision, right? Most of the time, they got that right. Occasionally not. Welcome to humanity.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, crazy.
Very cool. Talk a little bit about, give us the journey to the real estate field. So you mentioned Kinko's before it was FedEx Kinko's, but kind of walk us through, where you found some of your successes in business. What were your ahas, and kind of walk us through how you got where you're at in the, in the real estate space.
I got my first actual paycheck job when I was 14, and the people that hired me told me, please don't tell anybody else how old you are. And I was like, okay. I was clueless. I was like, all right, I guess I won't. Maybe we're doing something really nefarious. I had a work permit. That's in the days that you had to go get a work permit from your school counselor
But
to
you
be
had
able
to
to
be,
work.
but for you to be 14, because I had a work permit, but you could only get one at 15 and a half. You had to be 15 and a half to get a work permit for when I grew up in California.
Same.
Yeah.
Yeah, weird. No, I had a work permit, and so I got a job. I babysat, and I rode my Schwinn yellow 10-speed bicycle, pulling my dad's lawnmower all over town. And we didn't live in a flat place like this. It was hills up and down. Here I am every Saturday dragging that lawnmower, mowing people's lawns. I think I've always just been like, I'll take care of myself.
Yeah.
So I need to earn my own money. And my parents, when you're a pastor, it's not like these big mega churches now, but it's like these little churches, right? And so I remember needing tennis shoes and my mom being like, okay, well, we have to wait for the next 2 paychecks and then we can talk about it, right?
Yeah.
And half the time my dad gave away our paychecks, right?
Yeah.
That's just what they
his
did.
nature, yeah.
Exactly. And so we had a garden. We always had food because my mom and dad were both hunters. Sorry for those of you that are upset about that, but that's how we stayed alive, right? And gardeners. And so we always had food. My mom would can and my dad would grow everything. My mom would can. They would go hunting together.
So you guys are the people we should end up in a bunker with when, the grid goes down.
100%. So here's what's also super dorky now. Like, we were totally organic before it was like
Organic.
hip,
Before it was a
and
thing?
before it was
federally regulated.
Yeah, you were a patchouli mom, kind of, yoga pants and patchouli. Like, that's just how we were raised. I didn't have bologna or a hot dog until I was 18. Right, like that's
My
insane.
mom used to put wheat germ on our Captain Crunch.
Oh, yeah.
And then we only got
because
the
that
Captain.
cancels it out.
No, well, we only had the Captain Crunch because we were like little thieves in the grocery store. I don't know why she took us, because we would be like, get it in there now, put it in.
Hide it.
It would
You gotta
go
put it at
across.
the bottom and get
Yeah,
It would
put the
go across
broccoli on top of it.
It would go across the conveyor belt. She'd be like, what? But
Same.
yeah.
So that now it's a lot more prevalent, right? But
Yeah.
that's just how we were raised. Like, we ground our own peanut butter.
That's
all of
awesome.
it.
And you still do all
And so
that.
I love that.
Yeah.
It was really hard when we moved to Phoenix because there weren't a lot of outlets that carried anything organic. I had in Northern California, I had Foothill Organic Growers that would deliver a box that I could, well, this is the days, I would fax in my order on Sunday night and it would be delivered to my door on Thursday, right? And, you're like, all
Wait,
these
you faxed
local.
in the order when?
On Sunday.
Okay, to Thursday.
And then
Yeah,
they
see.
would pick it all in the fields, pack my box,
Yeah.
and deliver my box.
Yeah.
So I was used to that. So I asked them, I'm like, hey, can I just pay you to dry ice ship that? Because I literally in Phoenix couldn't find food. And so I'd go to like 4 different grocery stores to get our meal. It was crazy. Weird stuff. Anyway.
Yeah. So went from an entrepreneur on her Schwinn.
On my Schwinn, like, watch out, man.
Yeah,
Got my
so-
first job.
You were 14.
I was 14. It was a Hallmark yardage and needlecraft store. I don't sew. I don't do needlecraft. But, man, I can help you pick out color schemes for your quilt for grandma. Like I had that down. So that was super fun. And then I took a commission sales job at 15 and a half. And I was also not allowed to tell them how old I was because we needed to be bonded if you were going to run the cash register. And I was like, I got goals on that cash register. That was fun, right? So they're like, it was
that was like the top job was to
it
be on the
was like
register.
if you're behind the
made
desk, you are it, right? And at 15 and a half, I was like, I can't even drive. You can't bond me. You can do nothing with me. But it was commission sales. And I was like, oh, there's this girl who thought she was it. And her name was Christine, and she was tall and older and mean. And I was like, I'm going to crush her. And so
What was this job?
Anita's dress store.
Okay.
And I sold clothes like no one's business.
Yeah.
And so like the first week I was there, I was salesperson number 2. The second week I was there, I was salesperson number 1. And Christine hated me. And so then I was like, I think this is fun. Like, I'm not threatened by you. I'm so dumb too. Like, she probably actually had bills she had to pay. I was a kid who was like, oh, this is a game.
Yeah, this
I'm
is
going to
just
win,
fun.
right?
You're
Like,
having fun. Yeah,
I'm getting all
you're
this
fearless.
money.
You're
I'm
not
fearless.
Afraid. Yeah,
I'm selling stuff.
Somebody
to
says
people.
no to you, you don't care.
I don't
You're
care. I'm
like,
like next dressing room, man.
Yeah.
I got work to do.
It's like the first time you gamble. You're just like, yeah, I'll do this, and you win the most money the first time you've ever gambled.
exactly.
Because you're not thinking because you don't know anything.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's too dumb to know.
Got no
You're
end
happy.
game in it.
Exactly.
Except to win.
Right. Except to
Yeah.
win. And it wasn't even a challenge against her as much as it was, am I actually capable of this? And I'm way younger than you. And I kept getting that in my head because everybody, like my boss there, her name was Brenda. She was awesome. And she's like, whatever you do, you can tell no one how old you are. And if they ask you, you just say, I don't know, how old do you think I am? And then walk away. And I was like, okay, that's my strategy. So that's my first script that I
So
ever
then you
learned.
didn't have to lie.
I didn't lie. How old do you think I am? Answer a question with a question. Okay, here it is. So that was my training for like scripts, honestly. Like you started to learn, oh, this is, I like that shirt on you. Do you like other shirts like that? Which other shirts do you like? Different language, right? Do you like it? Yes or no? Which other one? Now I have to tell you. Yeah. Oh, so now I'm going to search the store for your favorite color and you're going to walk out of here like bomb diggity, right?
Yeah.
So that was that. Then we moved to Arizona, and I got my first job in Arizona at Best Western International Headquarters in the accounting department. And I was like, this is official. You know the best picture I ever
This is
took?
official.
It was. The best picture I have ever had in my entire life was the security badge to get in and out of there. And I was like, can we please have this in an 8x10?
And now we know Kimberly now, and I can imagine how much you actually probably hated accounting.
Oh, well, I didn't actually do any accounting.
Okay.
You want to know what I did?
What?
This is wild.
You got a badge.
I got a badge.
Okay.
That's how you could get in and out of the building. And I was like, heck yeah, man. I'll be wearing that around my neck all the time. Give me one of those like zing pow ones on your hip.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't have one, but I
Yeah.
really wanted one. But that was the janitor people, and I felt like I was just
lanyard.
No,
for when she
please
comes to
don't.
the
Oh, I've got them at home from one of my previous
Yes.
jobs.
Yeah.
I thought I made it too when it was attached
When
to me.
it's attached, right? You get that.
an
wow.
official badge.
There we go. Yeah, I would. Well, you have to
Compliments
get
of
that
lawyer's
really
title.
good picture, and that's long gone, my friends. But I worked in accounting, and I did their accounting backup at night on a Burroughs B800 system,
Dang.
where it was a designated room about 3 times the size of this studio, and it had these big, huge computers, and it was sub-zero temperatures, and I had to wear mittens and a beanie in the summer, right? I kept my bikini in the car because I would leave that job and go straight to the lake.
The pool. Yeah, the
right?
water.
But at work, I was in a down jacket, a beanie, and gloves, and long pants. And sometimes I sat with a blanket because it was so cold. And I would do the backup, and they had these tapes that were about 2.5 feet.
Like movie reels.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
And you would open this little trap door and shove that thing in and slam it and it would go, you're like, oh my gosh. And then you sat there and hit octave. That's all I did, right? And I would back up their whole systems for the entire Best Western International's whole entity, right? Like everything. So it's all, and then on monthly billing, I was, fortunate enough to be able to file their invoices.
Yeah. I'll say it's so funny the times, right? Because one of my mom's jobs was backup at Bank of America, and it was the punch cards. That's how you backed up data.
Oh, funny.
Yeah. And so we live now in the year where when we talk about
My
backing
computer
things
on
up,
my phone
Yes.
is more powerful than that Burroughs B800 system. Octave. Like I'm perpetually like I can hear it like a
I mean, that's
cuckoo
like
clock.
that's a really cool moment to think about. What we've grown up through. I mean, we're all kind of in the same age category, the three of us, and so to get to see all these different phases of technology. I mean, there isn't
do
a
you
lot of
remember an adding
generations
machine? Like,
that
I
have seen
loved
a
an
lot
adding
of the
machine.
things. Oh yeah, I used to.
Oh yeah, man,
Yeah.
That was my best class was 10
Oh
key.
heck
Yeah.
yeah. And typing with the typewriter. Remember
yeah.
the
Oh,
selector
gosh.
came out and
Oh,
you
yeah.
could hit that thing and it would roll out a half
I
a
remember the
paragraph.
first memory
I love
writer
it.
my
Yeah,
parents brought home.
bro,
I'm like,
that's big
man,
stuff.
we have
Yeah.
made it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. yeah.
What?
Yeah, funny.
So like, fast forward a little. Like, how did you?
Yeah,
end
way
up-
fast forward.
How did you get into? What transitioned you into the real estate space?
Actually moving to Arizona. So I moved away. I came when I was a kid and then moved away after we got married and had our kids. We were like, if we're ever getting out of here, we got to go now. And so we did. We left, went back to California, Sacramento area. And when we moved back here, my husband Kelly was like, girl, you got to find something to do. Boredom isn't good for you. And I didn't know anybody, nobody. I didn't even understand neighborhoods. Like I grew up in a town of 28,000 and that's at its peak. And that's probably where it is now. It's probably like 20,000 then. So not very populated, certainly not the urban sprawl that we have in Phoenix. And so
That's a huge difference.
the square mile grid thing was like, wow, there's
Yeah.
no hills. Like no, I could kill it on my Schwinn here. It'd just be unbelievable. But, so he was like, you got to find something to do. And he's like, you should be in sales. And I was like, okay. Well, if I'm going to sell something, I have to believe in it. So I need like really fast, good cars or like really high-end jewelry. I could be down for that. Or like amazing homes. And so I didn't want to work at the dealership. That didn't sound appealing at all in the summer or even that kind of business. I was like, no, I'm not down for that. I didn't want to work at the mall. That's where all the jewelry stores were. So I was like, fine, go to real estate school. So I went to real estate school and I got my
Process of
license.
elimination.
That's exactly what it was. I mean, I say all the time, my husband made me do it because he was like, no, really, you've got to find something to do. I was like, okay. So I did it. And I remember the very first class that I went to after I had my license at the brokerage that I went to. It was a business planning class. And they were like, okay, we're going to be doing your 1, 3, and 5 year plan. And I just was like dumbstruck because I was like, bro, I don't know if I'm going to be here next week.
Yeah.
I don't think I even really like this.
Yeah.
And now here we are, 22, 20.
That's impressive that
22 years
somebody
later.
was doing that then.
Oh,
And-
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And they were laughing at me. They're like, well, what do you mean? And I was like, no, I got this to make my husband happy. I'm not certain I'm like it. And then when I figured out, oh, there's contract stuff, because I used to be, one of the things I skipped is I used to be a corporate negotiator. So contract stuff was super duper fun. A lot of what I did for Kinko's was go in and negotiate all of the contracts for setting up a new store, from the location to all the equipment, hiring all their staff, and then I would go to the next city and do the same thing in Northern California. So that taught me a lot. And contracts, man, there's so much power in the word if or and or. And you're like, oh, that totally changes the whole world. Or we don't have to do that. We could do this, you know?
Yeah.
So when I figured that out, I was like, oh, real estate is just really contracts. People and contracts.
Yeah.
I got this. And that started like my real estate stuff. And that was, I remember my first year, people were like, oh my gosh, you're amazing. This is great. You capped, right? I was at KW and they're like, you capped. And I was like, really what that means is I gave them the most amount of money they mandated from me. I don't see this as a personal achievement,
Yay.
right? And
I guess it depends on when you cap.
right.
It also depends who was congratulating you on it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The people who owned the
Exactly.
franchise.
Of course
right?
they were.
So, you know, I jest about that because it was an accomplishment, because it meant that I was like actually closing business and I didn't know anybody. I mean, I have never, ever in my real estate career received just somebody saying, hey, here's a buyer, go take them out and go do it. I've never had a lead like that. And particularly in that area, no one ever handed me a deal. I had to find every single deal and I knew no one. And so I was like, well, who do I know? Hey, I know a bunch of people in California that might want investment properties. And so I just went back to the people I knew in California and said, hey, this is what I'm doing over here. Here's some of the options. You should see some of these houses. Because California real estate's way more expensive than Arizona real estate at that time.
At that time,
we're
it
not
was-
that different now. The
I
spread
know,
is not
yeah.
that wide, but the spread was pretty significant. The
massive.
delta was big, and so I was like, yeah, man, you can get a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,500 square feet, 2-car garage, 2-year-old home for $45,000. How many do you want?
Yeah.
And they're like, I'll take 3. I was like, all right, let's
Smart.
go. And then tell your friends.
Smart.
And they all worked at Honeywell and Intel in Sacramento area. And so they're bragging. And I mean, it was a maelstrom for me. I was like, hey, we're in. It
Smart.
worked.
Smart,
I still didn't know anybody here. I didn't have any base
Right.
here. So when that tapped, I was like,
Yeah.
I got to recreate, you know?
Well, but I think what's amazing is just that story alone showcases you were strategically busy. You put a plan together. And I think now, like, let's take those roots into the real estate space today
Right.
for most practitioners. You've had a career in which you've worked with C-level people in the real estate space, executives, owners, team leaders, coaching, individual agents. And I think that little story in and of itself is about taking a step back, seeing what's available, and then putting a plan together based on what's available to you.
it's true.
And I think so many people struggle to do something. They actually opt to be busy
Well, I
with
think
a lack of a plan.
I see it as you controlled it.
That's right.
Well,
Whereas,
I think
you
I
know-
had to know who I was, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And okay, listen, what's my capacity? I can work like a dog. I don't know what work to do. Like people would say, did you make 40 calls today? I'm like, I don't know 40 people. Like who? Tell me which 40 I should
They're
call
all
today.
ripping out a
Yeah.
page in
And
the phone
which,
book for you.
I mean, honest to God, that was kind of it. I was like, I will do what you tell me to do, but you got to show me how to do it.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, yeah, you should be building your sphere. Okay, like
What's a
with
sphere?
the dry cleaning person? Like, I mean, I don't get it. And we didn't do a very good job in our industry of actually helping people know this stuff. If you came in completely green and completely obtuse, you're gonna fail. And so now I look at the stats, and it's still like, I don't know, 89% of agents fail in the first year.
Yeah.
What a waste. And how embarrassing for us as an industry. Like, we're doing a really bad job. That is like embarrassing. That's so embarrassing.
The failure rate's high.
And what's even worse is some of them actually make it and then they don't do anything.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh my gosh, we're still not fixing the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are other ways, and we shouldn't be so caught in the legalism of this and that and this and that. We should be saying, hey, who are you? Why do you want to be here? What are your skills? What are your dreams? What's your aspirations? And what's your drive? Because if we can't get those in alignment, you should just go to work somewhere else. Honestly, you're going to be miserable.
Well, do you think some of that is because, I mean, if you go on any job site right now, recruiting people, any real estate ad on there is leads provided. Come on,
Oh, yeah.
it's ready to go. Just get your license, or if you already have your license, let's go. So there's less and less people that were in your situation that are controlling it. All they're trying to control is what the ad says. I can earn up to $185,000
Right.
a year.
Right.
Little do they know, you know, with whatever splits and teams
You
and lead
can,
costs
but
and
will
everything,
you?
that's going to
Yeah.
be like 95 transactions in
Right.
6 months or whatever
Right.
it is. You know what I
Right,
mean? So,
Right.
but I think that takes it out of it. Plus, you know, people coming out of college now are a lot different than when we went
Absolutely.
to college. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Instant gratification.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Yeah. Hard work is, you know, I hope it's not a thing of the past.
I hope so too.
It feels a little bit like that. And actually, I love that you're called entitled, because I feel like this is the perfect time to bring this in, and that is
Wink,
the
wink,
the
entitled.
entitlement mentality is
Yeah.
not like what everybody says with the millennials. They're actually hard workers. They're committed. I mean, they have a higher purpose to their job than just like I have to earn income. They want purpose behind it, so I understand that. But they work really, really hard. You know who, in my opinion, in my experience, not even my opinion, but what I've experienced, it's most 40 to 50-year-olds
Yeah.
that are so entitled. Well, and I'm like, wow,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Or the
You
ones
just-
that are younger than the millennials because they don't know any.
they haven't figured anything out yet. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's fair. But I think it's interesting. And to your point, I think what we're seeing in the industry is the markets keep shifting and the agents don't. They don't know how to pivot because they either came in and joined a team to make that $185,000,
Yeah.
and so they only know one aspect of it. They don't know what it took when they're like all high and mighty, like, well, my team lead takes so much money. Okay, bro, you
Go do it.
You go do it. Knock yourself out.
Yeah.
Let's see if you have the capital to put behind all of the systems that your team leader provided you.
That's right.
To set you up for success. And then let's see if you can find the lead, convert the lead, take it all the way to contract in, and maintain that relationship so that you can have a referral and recurring business. Okay, I'm sorry, you're calling people and you're converting. That's a monumental skill, but that's not it. That's not the entire picture. And so I think it's really hard for agents to start right now unless you go to a team or have a really good mentor, or you come from another business where it's similar skill set.
Yeah.
I think
Or
it's
also,
rough.
if you're going to solopreneur it, you kind of have to be prepared financially. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Like,
heck yeah.
Yeah,
You got to have working capital.
You have to have
It's
working
more
capital.
than just getting your license and
That's
paying your
right.
association dues. And then you're like, oh, suddenly I'm in business.
Yes.
I think we are the most unemployed, self-employed
Yeah.
industry there is.
yeah.
You have to come in
crazy.
like you're building a business.
That's right.
And instead of just coming in to be transactional.
Yeah.
Well, and
If
that's pivotal.
If you come in with the commission mentality, it's going to be really challenging. If you come in with, let me manage a P&L, what do my expenses look like? What am I allocating? What are then that's a business person, and that's how most people should show up for this gig anyway, is as a business person.
It is how they should, but it's not
know.
how we get here. So I think we are not a business of purpose. We're a business of default. I don't like my job. My real estate agent made it look easy, right? If she could make that much money or he could make that much money doing that, I certainly can. I could set my own schedule. I could be my own boss. No one's going to put a cap on how much
All
I
the
can
glamour
earn.
stuff.
It's all of that. And you're like, oh, yeah,
All the
that sounds
service,
amazing.
yeah.
Look at the
but
car
you don't
they're
have
driving.
any business sense whatsoever.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'm not trying to be insulting or superior. If you don't have a business mind, you should have no business running a business.
Yeah.
Or you should go get a business mind. It's
Yeah.
accessible to you. You can learn. I'm not saying we're separating the sheep from the goats. I'm saying, listen, if you want to be a sheep, go be a sheep. If you want to be a goat, learn how to be a goat. Figure it out. And I think our industry doesn't do a good job. We have a low barrier to entry, so we talk about that all the time. It's never going to change. It's a machine. I get it. If everybody who was producing had to pay $10,000 for their license renewal versus what we pay now, it's not enough producing people to pay $10,000 to equal the coffers. So we're never going to do it. Like, that's just it. That's my
Doesn't make business sense for the people collecting the dues.
Right.
correct.
Yeah.
And that's the machine, and that's how we operate. So we recognize that. We go like that. Okay, fine. If you really want to be successful, though, you have to figure out how to have a business brain. And if you don't have a business brain on your own, stop wasting your money and join a team and be part of that and pay your dues
Yes.
through that.
Yep.
Yep. Well, I mean, it really goes back to this whole ideology of know who you are, know who you're not, and then decide also, well, I'm not this, but it's a skill that I would like to acquire. So then what's the plan for that? Or find somebody who already does that and complements your skills that you can win with, right? It's
And
just
there's
really
a
about
lot of ways to make money in real estate. Like,
Yeah.
you don't have to be the agent. You don't have to be the buyer's agent. You don't have to be a listing agent. You don't have to be the luxury agent. You know, you can be any of those things.
Yeah.
You can be in the TC side. You can be in the marketing side. There are a lot of ways to make money.
That's right.
While you're licensed, you can make money without ever working with a buyer or seller.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's true.
Period. The
Well
end.
said.
It's very
And
true.
people don't understand that because they think, oh, if I'm going to be a real estate agent, a licensee or a realtor, however you want to, like, what part you want to tag into, let's just take it to the base.
Yeah.
Be a licensee. Figure out how you can monopolize that.
Yeah.
Right? Or
What is-
monetize that.
Which
That-
direction?
Right,
What's
yeah.
your biggest recommendation for today's operating agent, like in terms of what you're seeing right now? What you do a lot of, presentations around the valley. You do a lot of speaking. You coach people. You're part of, the Real Broker fabric, and you get to see lots of different takes. What's your kind of?
I think it depends, honestly, on what the person wants to accomplish and what they have as a skill set to start with. If you come from another industry, let's say you come from pharmaceutical sales, you'll probably kill it as a real estate agent. However, you probably came from a pharmaceutical sales place where your company took care of all of your back end, took care of all of your marketing.
you just closed.
Right? You're a closer. Okay, well, recognize that. I'm a closer. So find a team, build the team, or find a team. If you're a business person, build a team that they can do all of this and you can just do what you're really good at. I think for new licensees coming into the business or people coming in from out of state, and you got to be in a good circle. You got to find the right crew of people to do this with. Trying to do it solo, you can do it, you can slug it out, but it's going to take you it's going to be a long and arduous road. It really is.
Yeah, I think that's great advice for anybody, really, honestly, in the space, not just realtors. I mean, we see it on our sales team, right? The ones that come in with a good network, and they actually, and it's a real network, like
Right.
they actually excel faster.
It's not just a list; it's people I actually know.
Yeah.
Well, and I think that's the key to it, is building these relationships where these people are for you.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah.
And so if you're for me, and if I come to you, David, and I say, hey, I'm changing courses, I'm going to become a real estate agent. I have all of these people. You've been in the title business, which is I consider the real estate business title, lending, and real estate sales.
Yeah.
One of us can't survive without the other two.
That's right.
Period. The end. It's a tripod,
trilogy.
right?
I call it
exactly.
a trilogy all the time.
Exactly. So that's exactly it. So if I come to you and I say, hey, I'm coming with pharmaceutical sales background, so I know how to do this. Who do you know in the industry that needs my skill set? Like,
Yeah.
if I had that I'd be all over talking to
Yeah.
the other industry professionals. I probably wouldn't even talk to real estate people about that. I'd be talking to the other two legs of this tripod, right? To be able to say, hey,
I love it.
who do you know?
Yeah.
Because
And treat it as a partnership as opposed to a hierarchy.
well, and by the way, if I'm David in that situation and I'm going to make a recommendation for Kimberly, man, I'm not spending personal capital on you unless I trust the relationship.
That's right.
So that trust relationship matters. So the more relationships that I have that are like that, and my circle is filled with the people who are for me and not against me, the more likely I am to be able to excel and then to grow together.
yeah.
And then everybody expands. It's not just me that I need to rise to the top. It's that, hey, listen, if we have a really good, strong network foundation, then as it grows, it just gets bigger, stronger, and better.
Yeah.
But when somebody breaks trust,
It gets wonky.
you have a fracture.
Yeah.
And so then you're like, well, now the next time somebody like Kimberly comes to David and says that, David's going to go, oh, ow, I really trusted Kimberly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think the relationships are fragile, and we have to treat them with care and build those kind of relationships. If you have that kind of a network, I don't see why you can't be successful unless
Right.
you're, unethical and icky, right?
So a good network and
And skill.
identifying your skill.
and really honing your skill, right? Identifying it sometimes is difficult for people. Like, I don't know what I'm good at. I'm good at all of it. Well, actually, you're not. So let's get past that, because you're probably not really good at all of this.
You have to pick that piece that you know that you figure out that
Well,
you
can be proficient at things and not be great at them, right?
Yes.
And so
that's what I was going to say is like
Yeah.
if you can figure out the area that
Right.
I mean, we talk to agents all the time and I'm like, why are you hiring yourself out of the thing you do the best?
correct,
Right? I'm like, you should be
Mind-blowing to me.
It is. It happens
and
a lot.
look how happy you will be when you're doing. And this is such a perfect segue into the concept of potential. Because
okay, good. Because I was like, I want to kind of relay to like present day how all your experiences have built up into this speaking platform that you've crafted.
So it's interesting because here's one thing that I recognize and I think is true across humanity. It's not even our industry. It is just humanity, and it doesn't matter what country you're in. It doesn't matter what language you speak. I think that the vast majority of humanity lives beneath their privileges of their potential. And that's a big statement to make, but really what it means is we haven't figured out like what our purpose is on the planet. And once I can get in alignment with my identity and my desires and then my actions, when I can marry those together, I'm probably humming at a pretty good speed of my potential and my level of satisfaction. I got rid of the word success a long time ago because that just means so many different things to so many people.
absolutely.
Oh, it means this kind of car. It means this kind of income. It means
It's so subjective.
And it's so subjective, right?
Yeah.
But satisfaction, that resonates with everybody. Oh, yeah, man, I feel good about this. I feel really good about this. So when you can get identity, desire, and your actions in alignment, then you probably have tapped into what is actually your purpose and you're pulling out that potential, right? So many of us know we're capable of something, but we get caught. But what if? And then, I don't think the timing's not right. And overthink, and and we keep shutting it down, but it keeps popping up, and we keep ignoring it. And that's basically an overview of my whole keynote on potential is breaking through some of those things, recognizing them, breaking through, and then unleashing that little secret pocket of power called your potential. And when we do that, then we get in a place where we are actually deeply satisfied with what we're doing, and we want more. And when we want more, it's not because I need to acquire more materialism or it's that I want more satisfaction. Satisfaction becomes the drug because what we're doing is all of the endorphins are firing when we're happy doing our best thing. So when we say, why are you hiring out your very best skill? Yeah, you're miserable. You hate running this team, or you hate running this company, or you don't like this because you're not doing anything that you're actually gifted and ever desired to do. And so when you wrap it all back up and just go,
Yeah.
if I get back in alignment with those three things, then I have this ability to really accelerate my own satisfaction.
I think that you're putting such a great little twist and facet to the word potential, because a lot of times we use the word potential like, well, there's potential there, almost as though, why aren't they? Why aren't they? Or how come I can't? Or whatever. Whereas unleashing a new perspective on what potential actually means and discovering it, now it's about capable, able, desire,
Right.
not, well, I'm capable, so I guess there's potential. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, and back to one of my longtime mantras, just because you can doesn't mean you should. Like,
That's right.
I'm capable of a lot of things, and I should never do them.
Yes.
I don't want to do
Yeah.
I can be proficient in a lot of things and not enjoy any of them.
Absolutely.
And
you could be amazing. You
can
could be a
ama-
master
that's
at a lot of
exact- you can-
things that
and
you
not
don't
enjoy
like.
it.
Yeah.
And in fact, I think a lot of people live in that space. The overachievers live there. Oh, I'm doing this because it's what I'm really good at, but I hate every minute of it. Okay, well, gosh, that sounds awful. Like, I don't want to go to my grave.
So that means you're doing more of it too.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you're accelerating, and so
Yeah.
you're expanding. So now I do more of everything I hate. That sounds awful. On so many levels, that sounds awful, right? So I think potential is something weird too, because it's something that's not yet come to fruition.
That's right.
And that's it's like a shapeshifter.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. I feel like you're providing your keynote on potential is the other side of it, is really
Right.
going through it,
Right.
not just meeting it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think
your talk is getting people to the other side of potential.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that to me, that's the deepest level of satisfaction. Because like, we broke through. Like now you're free to do something. You're not caught in your own stories. You're not caught in other people's expectations of you.
Yeah.
When you get down to the core of identity, for most people, it is really getting to this place of, I honestly just cannot care what you think about me. Your opinion doesn't matter about what I'm supposed to do in my life. Because how many people have people who've spoken into them, oh, you're great at that, you should do that. And you're thinking, I hate every minute of that. But you're right, I am great at it. So I guess maybe that's my calling. So I try to force myself down this lane, and I'm not happy.
I can picture that aha moment with the
Right?
people you coach. Like,
Thank
wait
you.
a minute,
It's fun.
I get to do something I like. I get to learn more about it, and I get to be better at it, which gives me more reward.
Yeah.
And you know what's
in
weird about it?
Every part of it.
David, you are spot on. The thing that's coolest about that very statement is what it does for you. It gives you the freedom, but you know what else it does? All of a sudden, miraculously, there's all these crazy new opportunities.
Yeah.
Oh, bro, like that's been waiting for you.
Yeah.
Your future's
Right.
been trying to pull you forward for a
Totally.
long time
Yeah.
because you finally are at a place that you're comfortable with
Totally.
yourself. Like, this is my skill. And that doesn't mean you're super confident, by the way. You should be scared spitless.
Right.
In some ways, right?
Yeah.
Like, this is like, ugh.
Yeah.
This is edgy. I'm doing that this year.
Yeah.
I am changing my whole trajectory of everything this year
Yeah.
because I finally gave in to what I know I love and what I know I want to do. So I'm just like all out. That's it.
You're a student of it, and you're sharing the story, and you've actually
Yeah.
been able to put together a talk track on it. I mean, for lack of a better word,
No, it's
something
true.
that people can follow the bouncing ball with, right? Because I think so many people meet potential at the doormat, but what you're doing is helping them through it. And I think the other thing that's really cool
it's fun.
about the style in which you're delivering this is that I think a lot of folks get advice from people that they don't necessarily seek their advice. And it's so much easier to tell somebody what you think they should be doing. Like, I think about it even from a leadership standpoint. We're sales managers, right? And we can see what people should be doing, the shoulding.
Sure.
Sure.
Yeah,
But,
absolutely.
You know,
no, you're right. You're not wrong.
There's a difference between having a conversation that somebody does the self-work through mentoring and coaching about discovering potential. and learning who they are in it, as opposed to somebody saying you should or you could or I see this for you.
Right.
There's a very subtle difference to how that lands,
Oh, but significant.
but a significant impact on how it is executed.
It's funny because I think when we get to kind of the whole like bottom floor of all of this is a human has to be willing to be honest with themselves. And
Well said.
we don't spend a lot of time in honesty within ourselves.
Yeah.
Primarily, we have so many influences. Social media, I'm not going to bag on it, but I am going to say it's a
bag on
real.
it.
You can
I'll
bag on
bag
it
on
for
it.
me, David. Thank you. It's a real thing, right? I call it the Kardashian effect, right? Like I see this is what their life looks like. So my life looks like this. So I must be a complete and total loser until I can look like that. And it's like, well, first of all, you have no idea the trauma and drama in their life. And yet, like, they're famous for being famous. Okay, that happens to 1 in 58 billion people. So let's be honest, is that
Right.
that it's not even in your potential? Like it's not there, right? Whatever. It could be, but whatever. But the bigger thing is, okay, well, who am I? Who can I finally be comfortable with all my insecurities, with all my failures, with all of the like requited dreams, hopes, wishes, and everything? Like who am I really, and who do I really want to be? And I think those are really kind of flippant sounding questions, but they're like the deepest at the core. Who are you really?
Yeah.
And who do you want to be?
I love that.
'Cause
Who are you really?
Really, like really. But not what everybody else has told you are, not positive or negative, by the way.
Yeah.
It's not even I'm talking about people who are down and out, have been trashed and stomped on. I'm talking about people who've been promoted.
So graphic.
I know. I'm a word nerd. It's about people who've been so promoted they believe their own press and they're hollow. And it's hard when they're hollow because when you start breaking that down, everything crumbles.
Yeah.
And it is a hard work. It's a mental and emotional hard work. But when you get to that place and you do those things and you say, okay, in my rawness, in the raw material of who I am, these are the traits that matter to me. This is what I really like. This is what I really want to do. And by the way, sometimes just figuring out what you don't want to do reveals the best answer.
Absolutely, for sure.
Completely
Right?
agree with that.
So, fun.
What is the name of your keynote? And then what's the best way to connect with you to,
Dun, 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 dun.
What is
It's
your keynote
called?
called?
The Secret Pocket of Power. Bam.
is that what it's called?
It is 100%.
The Secret Pocket
The
of
Secret
Power.
Pocket of Power.
I love it.
Because I think it's this, and I'm giving away some of the keynote stuff in our conversation, so it'll sound redundant when you come to hear me, but it is really that little voice that whispers, you should do this.
Ooh.
Oh, I knew I should do that.
I call it the what if quotient.
Yeah.
I love that. And
So,
then I
yeah.
love that you've kind of, David and I talk about it, just really how you've kind of crafted a new stairwell, right?
Right.
For being able to share this messaging, the Secret Pocket of Power. You've written it. I mean, all the things that you've done, you're so good at, putting things together and, delivering the morsels.
was very personal
the little nuggets to
this
all of
time,
us. I know.
Which is different.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like,
Yeah.
this is something that you've really
Yeah.
done from heart, soul,
Yep.
from
Absolutely.
humanity.
Correct.
So what's the best way for people to contact you? Because I'm sure you're delivering keynotes outside of real estate too.
Honestly, that's almost the best part of this, which is
this is so
no slam
important.
to our industry, but this is a humanity thing.
Yeah.
Right? And so I'm talking to 100 employees at a pool company. I'm talking to 60 employees at an HVAC company. I'm like, it's been really, really fun to be able to do something. I'm talking at a university next week to one of their clubs of 200 students. So it's been awesome. So to get a hold of me is literally, you can find me on social, or you can just find me. It's not very hard. I have not built. Because
Way to promote.
I know.
Like,
I know. Well, because here's the
Let's
thing.
work on the promoting part.
It's the promotion part. But here's the thing. I mean, in the true rawness
You're
of
so
this,
funny.
it's a work in progress. I'm
Yeah.
building. So my target this year for 2026 is I am focused on getting on as many stages or opportunities I can to share the message. Because what I'm trying to do is build my own credibility in it. And I have a website in process. I have a podcast in process. Like I have all of these things happening to build this, but that's happening in the background while I'm forefronting
Yeah.
spieling
do
the
it.
message,
Yeah,
right?
you're
So
doing
there
it.
isn't
You're
an official
doing it,
place.
yeah.
My
Yeah.
point is there's no real official place to go except just come to me, right?
Email you.
So you can email me,
Get in
Kimberly
touch with
Ryan's
Kimberly.
email at
Yep.
gmail.com. Super
Perfect.
easy, 623-687-6324. It sounds like a commercial. But that's my phone number. You text me, call me.
Yeah.
KimberlyRyan.joinreal is Instagram handle, and you can find me Kimberly Ryan on Facebook. And don't look at my LinkedIn because we're not there yet.
Okay.
It's a hot mess. So,
But I love this
but-
because this is such a great opportunity to get to learn and hear from you, because there's going to be a moment in time where somebody who, these companies today that get to hear your keynote, they're going to be like, man, we knew her when.
Yeah, I mean, I hope so, because
Yeah.
I think for me, like my target
a book
is
in your future as
ultimately-
well.
yeah, dang it, stop saying that part. But yeah, I keep hearing that a lot too. That little potential pocket screaming at me. Yeah, my focus this year is kind of that reinvention, and to be able to say, listen, I've done all of this stuff, and now I want to do something more. It is a give back. But I feel like my whole career has been about a giving back thing. I'm hoping is the pinnacle of it.
That's awesome.
Thanks.
Thank you so much for being on our
Thanks for having me.
podcast.
Super fun.
Yeah.
We could chat all day.
Thank you for being you.
Totally.
You always-
Everyone else is taken, so they
Yeah,
say, right?
This is one of the things
Yeah,
that we
thank
love
you.
the most about
seriously.
this Entitled is just getting to really meet people.
Thank
so
you.
thank you. Yeah. Thank you
Super
guys for
fun.
joining us. Tune in
Thank
for
you,
this
everybody.
episode with Kimberly Ryan. It's going to be awesome.
See you later.
Bye, all.